that's why when I messaged you for your birthday, I had wanted to have a whole conversation with you, but it was Miss South Africa week.
Oh, girl, please can we not even...
Yeah.
Okay, are we rolling?
Cool. In 3, 2...
Hey everybody, welcome back to my podcast, the Relebogile Mabotja podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you can be the first to know when we are live. But also, our socials are officially up. Just search at Relebogile Pod everywhere and follow us, and you can see some behind the scenes content and some other things that you might not see here. And comment down below who else you'd like to see on the show. But I'm so excited to welcome our very first white guest, Nina Hastie.
You know, oh, how times have changed. The first white. First white.
You are breaking glass.
I'm breaking glass ceilings. All my life I had to fight.
There's a little white girl at home watching you saying, if Nina can do it.
Oh my God.
So can I.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. How many times have you heard that in interviews? Like, there is a little black girl at home.
No, that's what I'm saying.
know, like
there's a little white girl
at home
saying, oh my gosh, Nina made it to the Relebogile Pod.
Yeah, that's
So
amazing.
can I.
Yes, absolutely.
How are you?
Listen, I made it to the Relebogile Pod. And we are grateful. We are grateful. I'm so
Thank
grateful
you for
to
coming.
be here. Thank you.
But I also get excited to talk to you because I feel like we have so much history together that, and all these life stages we've been through.
Chapters.
Yes, and all these also little behind the scenes conversations that I kind of feel like people should be hearing what we're talking about, not because we're smart, which we are, by the way, but because we just have interesting insights into how we look at certain things.
You know, I wish that I look at a lot of women, and particularly women of color, and I want to sometimes shake them up and go, why aren't you running your own company? Why aren't you taking advantage of the fact that you could get grants, that you could do this, that you could do that, and empower the women around you? And then I walk into the space and it's just women everywhere and women of color who are, and you really know how to lead a team, and you've been doing this for a long time. Remember what studio? It was also a yellow building.
There was some studio that we were at
where you were producing something else before 702.
Oh my gosh,
before,
it was
just after training, but it was before your 702 tenure.
Yes.
It was an SABC2 thing that you were producing, I think.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So you've also amassed all this, like, on stage, behind stage, then producing, Miss South Africa, one of the best things ever. And I know that you're having a little secret conversation with a friend of mine that tells jokes and sings. I don't even know about that.
There are no secrets in this industry.
Yeah. No, because I was like, because he was choosing between production companies, and I was like, go with this one. These are my people. Anyway, so
Wait, I have to ask a question, especially because you are speaking about the, woman of color. Are you, because when I knew you back in the day, as in I was a Pretoria girl in high school, and we were kind of hanging out with similar crews at the time.
Rappers.
Yeah.
We were hanging out with the rappers. The only rappers in Pretoria. We just wanted to be with the rappers.
We were hanging out with the rappers, but I always thought of you as, when people would say something Nina, it was like, no, the black Nina. You are the black Nina. Are you a black Nina today? And by that, for those who don't know what I mean by the black Nina, you always were hanging around with
people of
black
color.
people. Like, I don't even think I've ever known you to date a white person.
So, okay, I'm just gonna, for clarification, I did not give myself this name. Okay?
Yes, it was us who did. She never gave herself.
Self-proclaimed to be anything other than myself.
She has never,
she
has never.
Because, South Africa is Rachel Dolezal. I'm like, no, I didn't walk around saying I was something else other than I am. If anything, I've immersed myself, and I'm actually doing a whole bit on this in my new 1 hour special. I just shot a 30-minute special for Showmax.
Wow.
Last weekend.
Yes.
And I'm still on a high from it. And a 30-minute set versus an hour set, in an hour you can contextualize a little bit more. I'm answering the question. It's quite a long-winded answer.
Yes.
When I was in high school, I was, as you know, in Pretoria. You
gravitated more towards just people of color.
Yes. I think because we had the same taste in music.
Yes, because you were very much into hip hop.
I was into hip hop, and I was into, but I had. So I feel like I was into, like, I think it was only like halfway through high school, because I was still like very much like with the white kids and stuff, and then we had a very. Like, this is the 90s in Pretoria. It's the 90s in Pretoria. Guys, we're old, hey? Like, we're old.
Yeah, we're the older part of millennials.
Yeah, we're the elder millennials. And so the 90s in Pretoria was segregated, right? And I couldn't process this information. And I've spoken about this before. I had this friend, we were prefects together, we were on the SRC together. And he was like, listen, I have to take the SRC exec to mums and come and stay at my house for the weekend.
Mamelodi.
Yeah, sorry.
Just triple T. Yes.
Okay, yes. Mamelodi D-section. Yes. So we went to his home, and I don't know if I can mention his name. Anyway, Tabiso. So we went to his home, and this is my first encounter of like what the hood looks like.
Yes.
Must remember, this information was kind of sheltered from us from what I call the apartheid algorithm.
Yeah.
So we didn't see how other people were living. We didn't understand why. Why is this one always late for school?
Yes.
Oh, because
you are not fully exposed to what the realities are.
100%.
Like, oh, your house is that far, you walk this far.
Yeah, you have to catch two buses and a taxi and then walk and whatever, you know. So by the time you get to school, you're exhausted. You know, you don't even care. Your tie is off. Like, I couldn't understand, like, why is this person's tie off at like 8 o'clock in the morning? Like, they don't care, you know, until you're exposed and you're like, oh, okay, this is the reality. So I think that woke me up in a way that I could never unsee or understand.
Yeah.
And it activated a few things, which I realized later, a lot of white guilt, a lot of like, you know, I don't know how else to be sorry about this. I mean, I don't know how to take responsibility for this.
You could always just get that. Have you seen those Asian videos where they get a fro?
I mean, I did have cornrows. Let's not around. I had cornrows, and they look bomb on me, by the way. They look amazing.
No, but on a very serious note, and I think it's such a valid thing what you're saying, because it's a difficult thing to articulate.
Yes.
In a time of, a person can see a clip of you saying that and be like, why does your white guilt matter? But the reality is, everything you experienced was extremely valid at the time.
Right.
You're discovering realities of people that are within your circle.
Right.
And you're seeing them deal with things that you've never had to deal with. So now it's like,
I was like,
what can I do?
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, okay, you're having an entirely different like life experience to me. And then it just created, I guess, I was like, there was a lot of empathy. And then I was just like, you know what? I just with these people. Like, I with these people so hard. We've got the same taste in music. We're into the same. There's a level of, because also I went to this new school. So I went to, like, we moved from like the snobby schools to the other school. And I've been working since I was 12. Okay, I worked on the weekends at the hardware shop. And when I was in high school, because I did a lot of sports and stuff, my folks, because my dad worked for BMW, people thought we were rich. Because my dad always had new cars. Right? They're like, wow, it's Nina's dad with the new cars. And my mom is hot. Like, my mom had legs to die for, and my dad was young. And, you know, so it was like always a big thing. So people thought we were rich. Ganti, it was this whole story about, anyway, so I packed bags at Spa, and then I would save up for my hockey kit, my karate kit, my karate tours and whatever. So, and then when I turned 16, I was old enough to waitress. So I've been working my whole life. And I didn't see the other white kids do that. They didn't have to.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't have to. So I didn't come from trust fund. I didn't come from like that kind of family. But I mean, I was white. I was living in the suburbs. I was living the good life, you know. Yeah. So there was like this, whatever. So juxtaposition of the two things. Like we didn't keep up with the Joneses, right? But we were better than having like been brought up in a apartheid era, being a black person in Pretoria, you know, so I had a better upbringing. Anyway, so the point was, I could relate to people that were just a little bit more, I'm trying to find the word that I'm looking for. I feel like struggle makes people.
Yes, it does.
I feel like there's
it sucks because we are coming from the generation of our baby boomer parents who have ingrained in us that struggle is necessary for success. And now we're going to the Gen Z and the mid-2000s who are like, guys, struggle is not necessary. But we are very much bonded by struggle and trauma. So I think the reason you could connect more with people of color is because your life had connectedness, your life experiences of you're the bag girl, go spa, you're the same checkers lady.
Exactly.
Yes, you had your existing privilege, but you could connect to the experiences that we had as black people.
Yeah, I mean, I could still revert back to, you know, having rich cousins that live in France and stuff like that. So obviously I understand that juxtaposition. I'm not in any way trying to put myself in that position. All I'm saying is I could relate a little bit more, and I just I don't know, I think it was the music. I think the music, because when I came to Joburg...
Was it the music, and was it also when you were grown enough, the PENIS?
You know, I am... No, you'd be surprised, Afrikaans boys...
You've been with
Captain Spadler. Captain, say it's Mina. Okay, listen,
Really? So you have dated white guys?
I've dated white guys. I've dated Asian guys.
So in this era today, this Nina who is more in her, I would say, creator, producer era, right? Are you, to come back to the question of are you black Nina or white Nina, are you in an era, because to me, the Nina that I know, I'm like, I can't imagine what white South African guy you would date, knowing you how I know you. And not to say you wouldn't, it would probably be like, oh, okay, he must have soul.
So exactly. So the whiteness, it's never really been about, never really. It's never, also, what does a penis look like? I can't remember. when last?
If people are wondering why I spelt it out, because I'm so used to having spelling out words with a toddler.
Don't say in front of the KID is.
I want to say that. Don't say guys around. Okay.
Yeah, no.
So has it been that long since you've
guys,
been
even in the last like 3 years, I've barely, and then I did have SEGGS with a guy in this last year. Segs. And he dribbled me so bad because I fell in love with him, because obviously I hadn't had sex in so long, and he was 33, that age where they just play and they all got rosters, and I didn't have a roster. He was the only one. So when I get a message, I was like, hello, sweetheart. You know, like middle age, pulling my phone away from myself.
So it was a situationship.
It was a situationship. I caught such feelings. He also caught feelings. I just didn't know that he also had feelings for like 6 other girls. So I just felt... No, and you think I'm joking. This is some Zulu men. Okay, like Zulu men fall in love with all their women.
And then they say, Kosazana.
Yes, I'll off now. Yeah, and then you fall like, yes, you do that, the knees. Anyway, so
you took basically, you gave your female parts and your heart a break.
Yeah, I had different things to focus on. Also, my latest obsession, and I talk about it a lot. So if you've seen me on podcasts before, K-pop.
Oh.
No, I'm
all things K, like also Are you also
K-drama?
Yes, okay.
Like my whole Netflix algorithm is Korean.
Yes.
I'm also like, I like men that are pretty.
Do you know many beautiful guys? If you're not into the K stuff, please go search up hot Korean men and you will be converted. But I have to ask you something, right? You speak a lot about mental health and you've had different diagnoses over the years.
Oh, so boring.
And this is the tricky thing with mental health. So for those of you that don't know, a lot of mental health diagnoses and illnesses have similar symptoms, so it can be hard not just to get the diagnosis right, then also to get the treatment right. And whether it's a combination of medication, therapy, all of those things. What is the current diagnosis?
ADHD.
Okay, so the current diagnosis is ADHD. And is it a diagnosis you're like, yes, this makes sense? Because I know at some point there was a bipolar diagnosis.
So
you've had depressive episodes.
So it starts like this: gifted child.
Yes.
Then you go to the school for gifted children after school in the gifted program where you're doing standard 9 or standard 7 science and standard 2 kind of thing. Grades, I don't know. You go and do the math. I don't know. So highly capable. Burnout at some point.
Yes.
And then depression kicks in because I stopped karate. Karate is what kept me sane. I didn't realize the discipline and the just left brain, right brain integration and just expending so much energy in a day. So when I stopped karate, all my symptoms started showing. So depression, anxiety, and these severe mood swings. So
also, can I add what I think could make it worse? Because I just thought about it now as you were talking. The routine of being in school, you school kids don't even know. The routine of being in school, the fact that you were forced to exercise. As an adult, you have to do it yourself, and it gets so much harder. So there's no one forcing you to PE. There's no one forcing you, to be like, it's that hockey team, and you are, right?
100%.
So the structure completely goes when you leave school.
Now, where I'm at, anyway, so there's bring me back to that, please.
To
bring me back to the structure, because I'll give you some answers. The misdiagnosis, first of all, they only started studying ADHD in young girls in 2017, the year of our Lord. So
Sigmund Freud.
Yeah, exactly. They could not have diagnosed me before correctly because they didn't have the data. They simply didn't have the data. Anyway, so as a result, what your brain looks like, the neuro parts in your brain, they're like highways or like paths. Like the more you use them, the deeper the neuropath goes. I'm doing quite a lot of study on neuroplasticity. You can form new pathways. You can form new ways of thinking.
You have to listen to my masterclass
on
neuroplasticity. Check it on the primediaplus.com app.
Okay.
Because I didn't even know neuroplasticity.
What Dr. Joe Dispenza, all of the
the things you can eat, the things you can do to keep your brain in check, and it also helps with your Alzheimer's. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yes, so I'm all into that, into whatever adaptogens that you can take as well that supplement your medication. So I take a variety of different medications because we are currently treating a mood disorder that is sort of semi-permanent as a result of the ADHD not being treated or diagnosed. Or
so those pathways and how you've been operating is quite
fixed. Anyway, so I'm working with a variety of doctors, a psychiatrist, a psychologist who does something called the anchor-based approach. It's kind of like cognitive behavioral therapy. He's a therapist, but he helps me with a framework. So, you've got a routine with school, it's a framework for your life. And I'm very disciplined. Like, I have to do my stupid mental health gym. I have to do my, my goals and my planning. And I've got different goals for different areas in my life. What are my relationship goals? Actually, relationships are not on my dashboard this year or last year. They are on my dashboard this year. So I'm dating. I'm going on dates. I'm on the apps. I'm doing the things. And
you're on dating apps?
I'm on the apps. I got banned.
From which one?
From Hinge for impersonating someone. Because somebody reported not knowing it was me. And then I had to email the Hinge admin people and send them my ID because I used my another name.
But isn't it amazing that people care that much about you? That they're like, somebody's in
Yeah. And they DM'd me, Nina, don't worry, I reported it. And I was like, you I've been like banned on Hinge now.
No, I
thanks to you.
can't get a man.
Yeah, I was like, thanks, Simon.
Wait, but how weird is it? So you do a different name and your face?
I use my second name.
Yes, which is?
Alexandra. My second name. So it was Alex, but then I did lie about my age. And then when they reinstated me, they made me my real age. I was like, you. Because I sent them a whole email. I must actually send a thank you. I was like, listen, guys, I'm just struggling with you.
Why didn't you just ask for them to add verification to the dating app? You can get the verified.
It was back and forth between me and the admins at Hinge. It was so funny. No, because
they must verify you are the actual Nina Hastie on the
so
dating.
Funny.
I can't believe you're on the dating app. So
100%, yeah.
But also, is that because? You know, when you go out in Joburg, it's usually for work.
100%.
You're not really a going out type of person.
And
so the only way you'd meet a man is if he broke in to your place.
Yes, 100%. And there I'm watching K-dramas going, oh, annyeonghaseyo. No, so yeah.
What is on your, give me the one line on your dating profile.
ChatGPT with boobs.
What?
Yeah. It's true. I pretty much know everything.
You should date then a tech nerd.
Any nerd. Because I'm actually very much a geek. I have like a whole, so I'm busy building like my anime section. I love anime.
Yes.
I'm into like, I build Lego. Like I'm a proper geek. I've got like a whole cupboard just filled with like equipment and tech. I am a secret nerd that no one knew about. I'm also like...
No, but we've known though, and I'll tell you why. Because in many interviews, including ones we've done together, if Nina gets told about something, she's going to go full rabbit hole, PhD research. She could write a thesis about it afterwards. Hence, if you sit with her and ask her, if you say to Nina, tell me about the ADHD brain, you're going to go. You will still even be able to tell me a whole thing about bipolar because you went through that diagnosis and you did all of that research as well.
100%.
But I want to come back to the what you were saying about your dashboard for this year.
Yes.
Right? Because now you're 43.
No, I'm turning 42 in a week.
What does this thing 43? Turning 42?
I'm turning 42 on the 19th of May.
Okay. So she's turning 42 and you're talking about dating. Is motherhood on your dashboard?
Beep bop. I froze my eggs when I was 35 or 6.
You and I spoke about this before I got pregnant.
Yes, and then you got pregnant. I was like, this
she's like, you betrayed me.
yeah.
Because we spoke about freezing eggs so much.
Yeah, so I spent a lot of money on freezing my eggs, and then...
What about the load shedding at the lab where your eggs are sitting? Have you thought about that?
I think about it every now and again, and then I'm just like, you know, guys, if it's meant to be, it'll be. I've actually got a very healthy reproductive system, and like, I don't want kids. If I meet a bajillionaire who can hire a team of people to help me.
Yeah.
The reason I've been wary of having children, one, because I haven't been in a stable, long-term, wonderful relationship, because I've made bad decisions in my life, and also because of my circumstance. Being a South African and other white South African men that don't have the political stance that I do, or don't have, now I must teach this person. Oh, God.
Do you see why I say you can't be with a white man?
Yeah.
Because if you were with a white man and his granny made a random comment, you would not be able to bite your tongue.
You know who's better is younger white men who weren't traumatized by apartheid.
Yes.
So the Ben 10s are better. The Gen Zs in general are better. They are more emotionally articulate. They are less prejudiced. Across the board, black, whites. I do a whole bit about it with my stand-up special. I'm like, I don't care. You know what? White people have to include the color purple when they're shouting about race. I don't care if he's black, white, brown, or purple.
Can I tell you a hilarious story? Yeah. The one time in high school, I remember we had this French teacher. And we were looking for somebody, a friend of mine, she's still in my life. Her name is Carol. And the person was like to the teacher, have you seen Carol? She's like, which one's Carol? She's like, the short colored girl. She said, I don't see color.
Oh, what a wow. What? I don't see color.
And then we so she's said, an invisible person. So that was just a random side tidbit. But I want to come back to the part of, I think, and I'll tell you why. I think you would make a phenomenal mother, number one, because you would be so paranoid about traumatizing your child and having them inherit any kind of weird.
That's my biggest fear.
But you know why you'd be amazing? The mothers who will continuously be asking, am I traumatizing up this little person? They are constantly aware of themselves. So that's number one. Number two, that kid would give you, I don't want to say a new sense of purpose, but a new kind of capacity. And I think you would be such a phenomenal mom.
You're not the first person to say these things to me.
And that kid would give you so much content for your comedy shows. So I'm rooting for you. I hope the lab...
I would like a tall man, please. I'm 5 foot. I'm 155. Everyone in my family, so my grandfather is from Montenegro, right? I know.
Wait, let's just clarify. He's from where?
Crnagora. I'm going to say it in the indigenous way of saying it. Montenegro, yes. Like, yeah. I didn't know I took it as an instruction. Anyway.
Eastern Bloc.
Eastern, so Serbian. Yes!
Zdravo, kako si?
Dobro, hvala, kako ste vi?
Dobro, hvala. But my first boyfriend was Serbian.
That's right.
Girl, this is why we are soul sisters.
Yeah, no, this is a thing.
This is why we're soul sisters. The people on X think I'm lying when I said that my first boyfriend drove from Joburg to pick me up in Pretoria North, to take me on a date to Melville and drop me back.
Wow.
And people were like, you're lying, or he's a simp, or blah, blah. I was like, you guys forget, there was a time when we were using map books.
Honey!
That was the era of
20 Rand petrol, okay? Yeah. 20 Rand petrol from Joburg to Pretoria. I could get from the Willows to Yeovil.
Yes.
if you didn't put foot, if you drove very slowly.
And because of his very... Serbian upbringing, which was very similar to that African way of being raised. He wanted to fetch me at home and meet my parents, which is what happened.
Exactly.
My mom was busy helping me look cute for my dates, telling me change this. But the funny thing, which is the part I didn't tell in the stories, this all happened and we had a fight at the restaurant. So I wasn't even talking to him all the way back to
That's so great. That's so great.
And I know men will be like, I would have dumped her at the side of... There was no Uber, guys. There was none of those things. But anyways, a random thing. So
this, because that's also... Sorry, just to bring it back.
Yes.
So culturally, I felt weird with other white people because they didn't grow up in the same type of... Our food was stinky.
You guys live multi-generational we did. So the fact
my grandparents raised me.
When he first met my grandmother, I remember it was winter. And he went outside to chop wood because that's what they were doing in the village. So our upbringings were very similar. Hence, we connected the way that we did. And he's 100%. Still my friend. Shout out. I'm not going to say your name so that I don't invite random people to your profile. No, he's not. Should I introduce you
please. Bring us together.
So you would make a good mom. I'm just putting it out there. I think you'd make a fantastic mom. And I think it would just do, whether it's through adoption, whether you carry, whether it's surrogate, whatever it is, I just think you'd make a fantastic mom. So I just wanted to put it out there.
Okay, if this is coming from the spirit or from the universe, then I would like a tall man, please. I would like a tall man who is athletic, who is smart.
And woke.
Even if, yes, woke, but not inherited wokeness.
Yes.
Come up with your own version of truth. You must have interrogated your own opinion.
Oh, as in don't just regurgitate things online.
I'm woke, or whatever. I feel like a lot of people are just inheriting politics.
Yes.
So a lot of people have inherited woke culture, much like people inherited apartheid thinking.
And racism,
just figure out your own thing and have a bit of discernment in life. Discern, just have a brain.
Is it hard being a comedian, actor, writer who is white in a time when a lot of the pop culture is very around all things black. Like, I think, and it's so great, a lot of our healing, thank you to the comedians, happens through
100%.
comedians making fun about 100%. Our pain, right? And I do believe it's healing. I think we are very traumatized as a people. But the reason I'm asking this question is because as a producer, I sit in many meetings with clients where we pitch talent. And the new conversation in the room is like, where's the diversity? And diversity now refers to white.
And I'm the diversity hire.
You are. And the team said we need a white person, and the first name that came up was not Nina. She was around the 7th, and we auditioned her for the podcast.
I did it again. Sorry, that was... Guys, that's an in-joke.
Sorry, let's quickly fix the mic.
I'm sorry,
I couldn't help myself.
It's inside my bra.
I couldn't help myself.
Sorry, that was so good. Guys, I'm sorry. Here you go. It's here.
We auditioned the white people for the show.
What an entire wow.
Nina made the cut, guys. Says our diversity guest.
Listen here.
Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Because you know what's so funny?
Sorry, what?
Yes, sure. Sorry.
Guys.
Oh my God, you're too funny.
Between the chest feeling. Because are we still?
You are so funny.
Let's do
You're a funny woman. She is a funny woman.
Okay, wait. Okay. Are we good? Sound is audio.
Sorry about that.
So wait, the diversity. Okay, let me come back to myself. The question was, is it a tricky time for you, without even having to acknowledge any kind of privilege, navigating a space where everything really very much is about the black experience, but you, in my eyes, are not sitting in a category where people would think you can't touch on certain jokes because you're white. I don't know if my question's making sense.
I have a joke.
Oh my gosh.
Here's a litmus test for this theory.
Yes.
Here's a good litmus test for this. You know how all white people think that all black people are Zulu?
Yes.
Don't worry, all Zulu people think that all black people are Zulu.
Yes.
Exactly, that's it. That's the joke.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. That's the joke. All Zulu people think that all black people are Zulu too. Like, end of. Like Zulu people are just, it's an Nguni hegemony in this country.
Yes.
So, I am in a space now where I feel the resentment, it's tangible.
Of like,
part? Why is she on the stage?
Really?
Why has she got this job? Why is she hosting this? It's just because she's white. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna outwork you, out-prepare you, out-talent you, out-perform you.
But also, does the part that you're a woman play into it?
100%! I'm a white woman, I'm the devil.
Jeez.
And I'm like, you know what, come. My balls are this big, boy.
I've seen them, they are that big. No, I get you, and it's a weird thing to talk about in the sense that there's a privilege, but you're still a woman, meaning that you are still an oppressed person in an industry which is still very much male-dominated. And the reason we know that is the moment you have to say female comedians or female rappers, that space is still very...
You don't go female lawyer. You don't go doctress.
I'm going to start calling my doctor doctress just because.
You know?
Yeah. So they say she got the gig because she's a white person.
A white woman.
A white woman. Do you feel like you now, like what you said, have to overly compensate to prove that that's not why you got the gig?
I think that people forget that I have been doing this since I was 13 years old.
Yeah.
I have been doing this since 1996. You weren't even born yet, so shut the up. Sorry.
Yes, are you okay there?
Like, it's almost like I didn't work my way up here.
Yeah.
And they're like, who is she? Like, people also think, people enter the, let me breathe.
Yes. So people think People forget.
People think that you woke up successful.
I get you.
Because they enter the industry when you're semi-successful.
Yeah.
And then they're like, who is she and why does she deserve it? And then when they find out your story, they're like, oh.
I get you.
So what I experience, and it's a small price to pay for the little privilege I have,
yes,
is prejudice.
I get you.
I'm experiencing prejudice just like any person of color, any other minority group experiences. So I'm experiencing a bit of prejudice. Black people have been experiencing prejudice their whole life. Small price to pay. I'm just going to keep working. I'm just going to keep being brilliant at what I do. And my content is no longer representative of other people's arguments. It's not my place anymore. There was a time where it was a place because we didn't have Twitter, we didn't have those things, and black people didn't have voices when I started in things. So it was me fighting against other white people about things that they needed to hear.
I get you.
Which is why those things, but now there's enough people of color to have their own conversation. So now my conversation is about myself, my ADHD, my mental health, my struggles,
your dating,
my dating, my
yes.
It's got nothing to do with other people's stories. It's only my story. And we haven't had enough women comedians just existing to give that perspective. Hey, I've got this joke, ugly men are better at sex. Ugly men are better at sex.
Which we know is true because they overcompensate.
And then the punchline is, because for an ugly guy, there's no tomorrow.
Oh my
like,
gosh.
no, I say an ugly guy will f you like there's no tomorrow, because for an ugly guy, there's no tomorrow. Anyway, I'm going to post that video this week, and then I'm going to see, because it's probably going to go viral, and they're going to hate me.
If you're touched watching this, you know something about yourself today.
Yeah.
If you're touched. But why I find it so interesting how you've experienced it. In many ways, the comedy space has opened up with what social media does, right? Anybody can do skits, anybody can do, and wonderful. But for me, I was like, because the space has opened up, the people who are really good at stand up, at writing comedy, actually have to continue to be brilliant, because doing your phone yourself and mimicking your aunt, while amazing as that is not stand up.
It's a different craft.
Can you tell me why it's so difficult and different? And I've been challenged on my list of things I'm trying to do before I turn 40 to do a stand-up comedy set.
Oh, I'll coach you.
Oh, girl, the anxiety, because I don't think, people say, oh, you're funny. I don't think being funny means you should be a comedian. Tell me why the skill is so different.
You're getting real-time feedback with actual energy in a room. When you're on your phone, you can edit it. You are the master of, I am your captain now. You are the master of your destiny. You post it, and people sort of
you can even put your
engage.
phone down till the next day.
And then you can choose how you want to engage. This is during the people. So for me, it was harder when I first started on TV, like when I got trending and stuff.
Yes.
I used to be so terrified. I used to cry backstage, because for me, a camera was the most terrifying thing, because I can't see what's on the other side of it.
You're used to getting immediate
the feedback live.
So if you're getting an applause and a laugh,
then I know I'm doing well. And if I'm not, then I'm doing badly. Now, I've got no control of what's on the other side of the camera. I felt so naked and so bare. And it was very, very scary for me. When
But you grew in leaps and bounds. And we worked together on Trending SA. We had many interesting laughs and conversations.
Absolutely.
One of the most favorite time in my career were the Trending SA moments.
But it wasn't it? It was really special.
There was something about the time it was happening in, and there was something about where social media was for what it was doing, because social media was not what it is today, like with your TikTok, but that became the place where we could have, we stitched the video on TV, basically, and gave our feedback.
Exactly. It was live stitching. That's so funny. It's amazing how things have evolved. So when people come from like this craft into this craft, first of all, they're used to working in 90-second bits. They're not used to mastering energy for 5 minutes or for 10 minutes or for 20 minutes. Or then there's the more experienced comedians who own, like now, I like doing an hour. So now to do 30 is weird. To do 5 is even weirder. And now, because I'm trying to like promote my comedy on social media, I have to tell shorter jokes so they can live
got you.
like dum so that I can sell it to you as a thing.
I get you. And on top of that, I think another thing is what stand-up comedy will humbly teach you is having to do an act after someone was either really good or really great. And online, you don't have to match up unless it's like a dance challenge or some kind of challenge.
No. I feel like there's people, like you're scrolling and like, that's good, that's good. I don't completely think that. I just think that the live energy changes in a room. Sometimes the energy is good and palpable. And there's different things that affect a room. If the lights are dark on the audience, they feel safer to laugh. If the lights are on the audience, they're vulnerable.
Yes.
If there isn't a stage, there isn't an elevation of the act, so you don't respect the act. If you didn't pay for the ticket, you're not paying for your attention.
I got you.
There's all these other factors that focus your attention on the act and that immerse you in the performance.
And the psychology of it
and the
all.
psychology of the room. So
if alcohol is being sold, it will be a different crowd.
100%. If you're in a theater, if you're having dinner and people are ordering or eating while they're doing it, they're not listening. So you have to use a different style of comedy. But until you're experienced enough to know, okay, this is the type of style, these are the type of jokes, this is actually, these people will never understand these jokes because they've never watched SABC1. These people will never understand this. So it's not a matter of even pandering, it's a matter of, listen, I can't go and do sports jokes. I can't tell a Costa Papic joke at the Magnesium conference.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I can't go talk about a PSL coach to white women unless I explain it. It just will take me longer.
I get you.
I can tell any joke.
And that's a skill that
but
you
have to
develop.
contextualize.
I got you. Because online, your audience just finds you.
The context is in the caption as well.
Yes.
POV, you're a this, and then you can just pick it up. But now, the job of the comedian is to bring the POV. What is the point of view? What is the context? This is the scenario. You set it up. Okay, so I'm in this scenario. This is what happened. It was my mom and me. We were in a room. Relebogile and I were at a hip-hop party in the 90s and XYZ. You know what I mean? Like,
I get you. And the skill, I think that's why I have so much respect for all of the different crafts, because I think I might not have the stomach to immediately get bad feedback. Like if I come and MC an event and I happen to be funny and people are laughing, great. But they didn't pay me to make them laugh.
There's no expectation.
Yes. So if I come out and now you're labeled, oh, so this person's being paid to,
Did you audition for that MC job?
I have never in my life auditioned to MC anything. Conversation for another day. I want to ask you about, you know, you being a writer. There's so much of your work that's out there that people don't know you had anything to do with. Do you ever feel like if you write jokes for somebody and they're on stage and they're delivering and hit the punchline, do you ever feel like it was me? They should know.
No, I'm just like, yes, you did it, girl, you nailed it.
Okay.
That's how I feel.
Okay.
Like now, so for this job that I auditioned for, that I'm doing, I wrote a lot of jokes this week for this thing. And I've got some extra jokes. So I'm actually going to give them to some of the other comedians.
Oh, nice.
So I'm like, yeah, because I can't sit there and do a one-man show. There's going to be other people that are like participating in the performance. And one of them messaged me last night to say they were nervous about this thing because they don't like a roasting style. But I actually wrote it in a beautiful way. I wrote it in a, don't roast like this, do this. So I gave the roast, but then the antithesis of it, like how you could give a compliment in that same way.
I got you.
I had so much fun writing this stuff, but because I've been on the receiving end of roasts and actually audiences don't like it. It gets ugly.
I actually was going to ask you, because you've been a past part of, which roasts have you done in South Africa?
I did AKA's roast, but then at the Comics Choice Awards, it became very roasty. Now, often the host will be like, tease something. I made one joke that I think I was a bit tone deaf on, and it hurt somebody, and I felt so very bad about it.
How did you know that?
Because I bumped into them later, and they'd blocked me on WhatsApp, and I was like, what happened? And they're like, no, the joke that you said was distasteful. I won an award, I won 2 awards, and all anyone could talk about was my insult. And I was like, I am so sorry that was your experience. I had the opposite experience. Everyone that came onto the stage said something shitty about me. So I was in a bad space, and the audience eventually was like tired of it.
So do you think it's getting too much?
Yeah,
the roasting?
It's actually ugly. It's actually because it's not entertaining. You know, unless it's a well-crafted joke. Don't just come up there and say something cuck. Like this joke. So it's a wardrobe thing. So if looking at someone's outfit, what would you say? So this is one I'm going to use maybe tonight. I don't know what it is, but it looks like you can connect to the Wi-Fi with it.
As in the outfit.
Yeah, as in the outfit. But then you can say, don't say, I don't know what it is. It looks like you can connect to the Wi-Fi with it. Say, that looks like that is the router, the fiber, the cable. That is where I can connect. You know what I'm saying? So take the thing and just spin it positively. So the funny lives in the obscurity. How can an outfit connect you to the internet? As
opposed to it looking like you're just being mean about how somebody dressed.
Yeah, just guys, do a little bit of homework. Be prepared. Jokes aren't off the cuff. They are crafted and they are written. Don't just think that we come up there and I think that's what it is. People underestimate how much work goes into stand-up.
Yes.
And how much work goes into being funny. We research, we're a bunch of nerds, we want to know all the information about it, and then we want to offer you our opinion, whether it be obscure, whether it be an alternative way of thinking, whether it be our experience and an impression of someone. We take something that we've studied and give you something else from that. That's what stand-up is.
So, in terms of if you could have 3 dream people to be a part of their roast, maybe you're even the roast master, saying what you've said, knowing what you know about where we also are, I think like you said, people are getting a bit... Okay, what's the caveat?
I get to choose the writing room because all the roasts have had a specific set of writers.
Yes. So you get to choose the writing room.
I would fire all the writers.
Yes.
I would choose my writing room.
And it doesn't have to be limited to South African.
I would choose my own director, choose my own writing team. I would put... I'd love to work with Jimmy Carr.
Isn't he hilarious?
He is a
Jimmy
genius.
Carr is very funny. Why do I feel like you would love to roast Ricky Gervais?
I want to actually just be friends with them. I feel like Jimmy and Ricky, we'd get on like a house on fire. I would bring John Flismus back. I'd like Ali Wong.
John is so
Silverman.
Brilliant.
I'd like...
And locally?
Gilly Apter as my head writer.
Yes.
Because she brings in a gentleness and a very intelligent way of... I don't think there's anyone that understands comedy better than her in terms of structure. Eugene?
Yes. I have such a soft spot in my heart for Eugene.
Isn't he just...
Eugene, and very, very just... solid.
He's just one of the smartest people. Like, he's like us. We can speak about 17 things on the, like, you know...
And still be alive.
Yeah.
Last name, a politician you'd love to roast. I know that they've recently shot Helen
she
Zille.
was amazing.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't there, but I was at the press conference and I met her and actually wanted to get involved, but they split me up from that team. I wasn't on the writing team. Anyway... I was focusing on my special, which we shot, so which I'm glad all my attention went to because it was amazing.
One politician you'd love to roast?
This is so hard. Because you want to go with the obvious ones, but I mean, you want to say Julius. You want to say Julius.
Why did I know you're going to say...
Because he's so dogmatic.
But I feel like it's too easy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It is
Why
too
wouldn't
easy.
Why wouldn't you
Bantu Holomisa, the general.
Yes, that's you would.
Yeah,
do a
you know,
great
but
job of.
him and I get on very well.
Yes.
So he's actually, yeah, and also he's got so much understanding of politics.
Yes.
And also he's quite pragmatic and not like. Actually, I'm a big fan.
He's very approachable. I've interviewed him more than once. He's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah,
and,
he's funny,
and
he's
fun,
witty, he
and
knows things.
I would give you Cyril, or actually, you know, it'd be hard to roast is Paul Mashadile. I would give you Paul Mashadile or Ace Magashola. I would give
Where
you.
are the paintings?
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Okay, as we slowly come to the conclusion of our diversity episode for the Relebogile Mabotja podcast, what would you like people watching?
Wait a minute, Tasha.
No,
are you a tiger in the bedroom? Did you go 12 rounds?
No,
sorry.
That Gwena Mantashe is too easy. We have to go the difficult one where you don't even know what the politician's laugh looks like.
Yeah.
In closing, what would you like everybody to know about you? I mean, I just think you are one of the most interesting people. Your career's fascinating. Your relationship with your family. Like, what would you want everybody to know about you right now in this moment?
I'm gonna give 2 plugs to myself, and it'll give an unlock to the world. So I'm launching, so I've got my mental health podcast, which has been stop, start for 5 years. But
because of mental health?
Because of mental health. How ironic. My mental health stood in the way of me producing my mental health podcast. This is the most insane art imitates life thing. I just kept having breakdowns. Anyway, so Otherwise You Well. It's Otherwise You Well podcast on YouTube. Then I'm launching my second one. We've in pre-production, so we've shot a few episodes, and that'll probably come out in June. It's called Playdate. Please will you come on it? You come to my house and build Lego.
Already I want to be there.
Yeah, you just come to my house and play.
Are there 3 cats that join us?
2 cats and 1 is deaf. I have a deaf cat. Like, people say that your pet reflects the attachment style that you look for in a man, and I have a deaf cat.
I thought you were going to say you got a deaf cat because you told a tone-deaf joke.
Oh, wow. Fair, probably. I mean, that was karma, you know. I mean, I also make mistakes. Yeah. Can I also just make some mistakes, please?
And be human.
Yeah?
And be human. Okay, you want everybody to know about the 2 podcasts. The one episodes drop when they are ready. Please, just respect. And the other one will be coming out soon. That one is called?
Otherwise You Well is, we're on season 2 now, we're shooting. So Otherwise You Well. I had Dumi on, our homeboy.
Yes.
Stogie T.
Yes.
Loisa Gola, Kate Goliath, Adam Bayer, CEO of Grid.
Oh, nice.
Rolene. I'm forgetting somebody. Ooh, Sangoma Nene. I had her on. She's amazing. And then this season, I'm focusing particularly on mental health. So a lot of psychologists, psychiatrists, people with mental health apps, etc., etc. And then Playdate, Pabi is on one episode. I've got Moonchild we've shot. My bestie, Ndogozo, who he's not a famous person. So it's just going to be...
I am so coming.
Yeah, it's just, please come. It's just my friends that come to my house, and then we play a bit of 30 seconds, we play a bit of other stuff, but mostly we build Lego.
Nina Hastie, I continue to love you. I'm sorry I betrayed you by having a baby behind your back.
So rude. So rude.
When we spoke about...
We were supposed to be dinks, dual income, no kids.
And please just keep being on the up and up, keep doing what you're doing. And I really admire most about you is your vulnerability and openness with your mental health. There is a time like today, there's no better time for everybody with a platform to be speaking about the realities. And you make fun of it, but you also educate, you read, you share. So I love you. I adore you. Thank you for coming.
I've got something for you.
Nina Hastie, everybody. She brought me sweet. Hit the subscribe button, comment down below with whoever else you want to see. Don't worry, they don't have to be black. Can be anybody that you want to see on the podcast. Hit the notification bell. If you've got questions for Nina, put them down below. I'll make sure she answers you. Until next time.
Cheers.